Hey friends, it's me, Curtis. Welcome to the show. Sending thoughts to people all across the country with what's been going on, this mass shooting thing. I don't know what to say other than just keep praying and hoping that that we can start treating each other with love and kindness. I love growing food, and I've got to tell you all. Last year, when my banana trees produced that first bunch of bananas, the flower came up, I was on cloud nine. And today I just saw my second flower. I hadn't noticed this flower. This is the banana flower, and we'll watch it as it grows through the summer. And it popped out early, so this is the first day of June when I'm noticing it, right? So we'll have the whole summer to let this really grow and go, and I'll share with you in shows coming up. To my left, I've got a red banana. Maybe in a few years we'll get some red bananas, and I've got another clump of banana trees here. So if you're in the Novato area and you want a banana tree, let me know. I'll dig one up and I'll share with you. I've given some to the UPS driver, to my mail carrier. I love sharing love. And two ways I can share love is, one, cooking for people, and also growing and food for people and sharing that. So I'd love to share some of the banana trees with you. Today's show is about the incredible edible banana. I'm going to make some banana breads. And I'm sending out prayers to all the families that lost people in these tragic incidents over the last few weeks in this great country of ours. Y'all, let's lift each other up. When I talk about spreading love, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about love of life, love of God's love, whatever God is to you, or whatever she is to you. It's just, we've got to care for each other more. So let's go make banana bread, and I'm going to share it with people. I've given away a couple of loaves already this week, and I look forward to giving away more. It's the way I share my love. Peace. Spread love. Welcome to the kitchen. It's me, Curtis. Today, I'm making one of my childhood favorites. In fact, the whole show is about, well, I'll say my childhood favorite. However, my sister Portia was the big banana fan in the family. And I'm going to make just a banana sandwich. I loved them as a little boy. Mayonnaise, bread, and banana. Makes the best sandwich in the summertime. And if you think about it, bread, bananas, what do you get? Banana bread. So after making this banana sandwich and taking a few bites, sometimes I get a little too heavy on the mayo. But what is mayo? Eggs and oil. Okay, so don't trip out, it's just easy. I love what mayo does to different dishes. I make this dish in one of my books called In a Minute Pasta. No, it's Pasta for One, Maybe Two, where I make my pasta sauce using mayo and herbs and spices. It is absolutely fantastic. Maybe I'll make that for you someday. Now, this is truly a country boy's delight. Mayo banana sandwich. Some people like to use peanut butter and when they make their sandwiches. Me, if I'm using peanut butter, I want a PBJ. All right, behind me are the fixings for banana bread. And what we're going to do today is make two different banana breads. My recipe, and I'll show you the book later on that comes from, I think it's from Curtis Aikens' Guide to the Harvest. Banana peels, don't throw those just in the trash. Chop them up, put them in your mulch pile. Remember potassium, right? The potassium that's in those bananas are in the peels also, so you can add that to the soil. All right, now, so just going to slice it up. I am salivating to eat this banana sandwich. And I have a tendency to put too many, I really overload my sandwich with bananas. So when I was a little boy, I'd go wild making these. Now as a big boy, I'd go just as wild. However, having diabetes, I don't make banana sandwiches as often as I did in my younger years. And moving forward, I'm going to talk a little bit more about health and doing things. We talked May is Mental Health Month. However, every day should be mental health and your overall health day, right? We have to do what it takes to be healthy, to be strong. Now I need to spread these out a little better over the banana, over the breads. I wanna, every bite, I get a bite of banana, right? Ooh la la. No, and I don't toast my bread. I like just that soft white bread. Now this one I will cut in half because it's such a large piece of bread. These are 2 large pieces of bread. In fact, I'll probably eat half of this now and half later. Oh, looky, looky, looky. Banana sandwich. All right, when we come back, I'll reset and we'll talk about banana bread. Every country boy's dream. Maybe city boys too. I don't know. I know I love them. Peace. Come back. Let's make banana bread. Bang, this is good. Woo, baby. Hey, welcome to the kitchen. Well, back to the kitchen. Made the banana sandwich. I enjoyed it. Even served half of it to Lisa. New toy, new tool, helps me out. As you all know, I'm a one-person operation, and I've got some interesting setups today. So in my learning to produce, I understand about the clapper now. And in my case, it's just really good to help me sync up my video. I've got 1, 2, 3 cameras. And so when I go to do my editing, that little clap at the end helps me to sync it up. Because I don't need to do all this stuff like Curtis Aikens show production, all that stuff, because I do all my editing. I can keep up with those kind of things myself. Anyway, I love sharing this with you. I hope you're enjoying it as well. This was one of my big COVID projects. Not that I had COVID, but during this lockdown, I really started working on my editing and studying more. So we're back. Let's talk about what we're making today. This is banana bread right here. You know, this is a loaf that I made using this box mixture. Lately, Lisa has really been into banana bread. She's always loved it. However, you know, I didn't do that much baking. So a couple of weeks ago, I guess it is, she brought home this package of banana mix, and it sat around for a week and a half, maybe 2, and then she finally says, honey, if you're not going to make it, I'm going to make it. I'm going, okay, I'll make the banana bread. It was really good. Now, we haven't been able to find the package again. So, I went out and I found Betty Crocker. Now, this is what was made with the Betty Crocker. I made 4 small loaves with the Betty Crocker, and it's really good. And I also picked up yesterday Pillsbury, okay? I'm going to make this one today because we already have that loaf. And I'm also going to make my banana bread recipe from scratch. Now, the ingredients to make, I always laugh when I say ingredients because I think of Curtis and Cole when they were little bitty boys, and they would say, ingredients, Dad. What's the next ingredient, Dad? So, the ingredients for Curtis's banana bread, I've got 2 cups of flour. Now, and this recipe comes from Curtis Aikens' Guide to the Harvest. Okay, this book right here. I've got to show it to all my cameras. That's hard for me to do there. Okay, anywho, Curtis Aikens' Guide to the Harvest. And I've made some changes. I'm going to put the original recipe up and also show you the changes I made. Because originally this called for a half cup of white flour, then 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. I didn't have any whole wheat flour today, so I used just 2 cups of flour. Then I've got a teaspoon of, the recipe calls for baking soda, and what I did now is I split the baking soda about 3/4 baking soda, and about 1/4 of that teaspoon is baking powder. Gives it a little more fluffiness to it. And then a half teaspoon of salt. The recipe calls for a cup of sugar, and I use maybe 3/4 cups of sugar, and probably I could get away with using half a cup of sugar because the bananas add enough sweetness as well. The recipe also calls for a half cup of warm or hot water, agua, and then half a cup of oil. And I love corn oil for this recipe. If I'm not frying, most of the time I'll use corn oil or olive oil. My recipe calls for 2 eggs. Now, let's see what the Pillsbury recipe calls for. And these box mixes. Now, the reason we're doing this show is just and talk about the differences. I mean, moms, if you're in a hurry, I got nothing wrong. I'm not going to tell you to make every recipe from scratch because, this is great, especially if you want to get the kids started. All you need for this recipe is, it says, cup of water. Oh, nope, that's for muffins. Let's go to, oh, no, that's for the banana bread. Okay. 1 cup of water, like mine. Now, this calls for a 1/3 cup of oil, 2 eggs, which we have, and then everything else is in here. Now, let me see the directions. Preheat oven to 375, which we need to do for my recipe as well. Combine water, oil. It says combine mix water. This is the mix with water, oil, eggs in a bowl. Whip it up. Just stir it up to this nice and soft. Pour in the battered pan and do its thing. Okay, it's the same thing we do here. Oh, and I forgot. It also says, this is funny. It does not say anything about bananas. This is interesting. I'm looking for bananas. Come on, Yeah, it does not say add banana. So this is just when it's a flavored bread. Well, we're going to mash 3 bananas up and add to it because that's what we added ours. Because I didn't say that, did I? And of course, the star of the show, the banana. Now, most people make the banana bread when they start to brown speck like that. That means the sugar content is very high. However, you can always use ripe bananas, okay? Now remember, when buying bananas, they are shipped to the mainland green, okay? And then they're gassed, and it's not like gassing to knock you out. It's a gas, a natural ethylene gas that helps to speed up the ripening. So when you get bananas, I look for the ones with green tips here and here. You see how that is? And they can ripen up at home. If the bananas are really green, put them in a paper bag with a tomato because that tomato, again, releases natural gases that help speed up the ripening or quicken the ripening, as we say. I'm going to mash 3 bananas to go with each one of these recipes. Let's come back and start making banana bread. I think I'll do mine first because it takes longer to get it ready. And we'll get it in the oven, and then we'll whip up the other one and slip in as well. And instead of using the big loaf pan, okay, we'll just oil that. I really like these smaller baking pans. And again, we're trying to do away with this. Is the last one I have like this. We're going to stop buying those because we want to, create a smaller footprint or a carbon footprint, I should say. So I'll be using this in the future. And I'll also have small ones like these smaller baked loaf pans, okay? So we'll come back. I've gone ahead and oiled and floured that so it slipped the banana bread slips out of the pan well, okay? We're going to start to preheat the oven, and we'll come back and make Curtis George Aikens Sr.'s banana bread. We're back in the kitchen here. I've got all the ingredients laid out, and I've got the equipment I need to work with as well. Mixing bowl. We're going to put everything in the mixing bowl. We'll start with the bananas, and I've divided these up. I've got 1 that's really high with the sugar content, and then 2 that are just nice ripe bananas. And again, I'm not going to throw these peels away because I will use them in the garden. We've started to, I think the Recology, is that the name of the company that does the trash around here? Yeah. Anyway, they've really started to ask us to do the composting, in other words, the food scraps and all that. However, Lisa and I have been doing that. Well, I've been doing that forever since I, was a kid. We always put these vegetable scraps that won't sprout into le gordon. Okay, let's get these bananas ready. I'm just going to break them up into the dish here. And then we're going to take a potato masher. I guess it's a food masher, right? And we'll mash those bananas up. And then we'll start mixing the dry and wet ingredients into that bowl. Normally when baking, we separate the dry. However, with recipes like this, I don't really separate dry and wet in two different containers and mix them. I just mix them all together because it just seems to take less time. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of almost like a dump cake, you know, when you just dump everything in. Now, we're going to mash them up. You know, you could make this into a zucchini bread recipe as well. Just mash them up. One of the reasons people like to use the ripe bananas is because they are much more soft and they are easier to mash. However, because I'm a big strong guy, big strong person, I can mash those up, and I'm sure you can as well. Okay, doesn't take that much weight. Now I've got 2 eggs, my 2 large eggs, and again, eggs can be compost as well. So just crack that, and try not to get any shell in there, of course. Uno. I just put them on a white piece of paper towel because I can just transfer that out to the garden as well. If I rip that white paper up. 2. Whoops, I see a little shell in there. Now here's a trick. When you're removing shell from dishes, always take the eggshell and scoop it out with that. That's one of those old tips. I think Rochelle Hutton, the great baker down in LA, taught me that trick. See how that comes up? All right, now I'm going to blend our eggs in. I'm going to add my baking powder and my salt. Okay, baking powder, baking soda, salt, all that together. Ooh, back there. Mix that up. Add our sugar next. Don't drop an eggshell, and I don't know if that's just a piece of banana fell into the sugar. And we can put that in there. Okay, 3/4 cup sugar. And my food masher, my potato masher, I'm using it almost like a blender blade. There we go. Gonna add our oil. And then we'll start to slowly add the flour. Bit at a time, okay? Oh, and I've got to get pecans. Lisa loves pecans, so I'm going to add pecans to this. So I'll get pecans out and add to this recipe as well. I'm also, at this point, going to turn our oven on. I'm going to preheat that to 375, right? Well, my oven runs hotter, so I'm going to just set it to 350. Take my scraper. I'm going to scrape all that flour down in. And I'm going to add about a cup of pecans to this because we love pecans. I'll add my water after I get all the flour in. You could use walnuts or your favorite, whatever your favorite nut is. I've got that 1/2 cup of hot water. Pour the hot water in. And there's my recipe for banana bread. And we're going to get the 4 little loaf pans out. Waste not, want not, right? That should stand right up in there. If it falls, don't get mad at me, okay? There we go. That looks beautiful. And that banana smells so good. Well, let's get some pecans. We'll add to this. Well, got about a cup of pecans here. We're going to add it to our batter before we fill up our little pans. Or you could also just add this to the pan if you wanted, okay? In fact, I might do that with a few of these. You want to make sure you get some pecan in just about every bite. Now I've got 4 little pans, loaf pans, mini pans ready. You know, Georgia boy just love pecans, so. Okay. They're fabulous. And a pretty batter. Move this out of the way. We'll bring our little tins in. We'll start to fill them up. I'm guesstimating that I can get 4. If I don't be mad at me, okay? Now, let's see if we can get these done nicely. Get that good look there. I'm going to fill about halfway each loaf pan. Catch that off the bottom there. Let's go ahead and speed this up and fill these 4 muffin? These little mini loaf pans up. Then we'll place them in the oven and let them bake and make a beautiful banana bread. And, the eggshells along with the banana peels will go out into the garden. I'll chop them up. All right, now I like to put them on a little baking sheet. So just in case something bubbles over, you know. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, 3. How did I do this? I got all 4 on here. Just play with it, you get all 4 on there. There is where there's a will, there's a way. And we are willing the way. Look at that. Okay. So I've got 4. I'm going to slide these into the oven. It is 157. So at 257, should be good to go, right? We'll check them though in about 40 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for about 40 minutes. So, all right, these are going to go in the middle rack. Got to leave enough room for the other pan as well. Wow, they look great, y'all. They cooked for 25 minutes at 355. So, as always, we check them by inserting a straw. Mighty big straw. Oh yeah. Came out totally dry. Now that is my recipe. I haven't even started making the quick bread because, look at that, all done. All right, we'll let these cool. We'll taste them a little later. Quick bread and muffin mix. Banana with real bananas. Quick bread. 1 cup of water, 3/4 cup oil, 2 eggs. Nothing about bananas or nuts. We're going to add them though. 2, 1. Took a break there to just kind of clean the kitchen up and get set up. And as you saw, I read the ingredients and it said nothing about bananas. However, I've gone ahead and added 2 bananas. I've mashed them up in the bowl here, and I've got about 3/4 cup of those pecans that I'm going to use. So 2 eggs, water, and a mixture. And I'm going to do what we did before. So now you have seen me mix this before. I'm going to add my eggs, my mixture, along with the oil and water. Then we're just going to mix it up very well, add our pecans, and then we will fill our little loaf pans. Day for Thanksgiving. How's that sound? A pie show. All right, now this is a much looser batter. So we shall see. I hope this does not crack, you know, when they're cooking up. So again, same thing. We're gonna pour them in. We'll speed this up and fill these little loaf pans, and then let's bake them. Okay, let's get these in the oven. And before I start crying, I made a mess on my countertop. I'm sorry, Lisa. Well, again, I've got my little tray here. I'll make sure I don't have any batter on the bottoms. 1, 2, checking the bottoms, 3, and 4. Okay, we'll slip these into the oven. We'll check them in about 15 minutes because this oven works fast, y'all. Okay. Everything's in. We'll come back and see what we got. Peace. Okay, we have all the breads here. This is the Betty Crocker right here. I made this one, was it yesterday or the day before, babe?
Day before.
Day before. And you really like that one, huh?
Yeah, great.
And this is the Pillsbury. I got to be honest, it just doesn't look as good as Betty's does. I think next time if I use this Pillsbury mix, I will add a little more flour to it and maybe a bit of baking powder just to give it some more lift, because this is rather flat loaf. Now here is the Curtis George Aikens loaf, and she go whoop whoop. Now I love this. Look how it puffed up. It's higher than any of the three muffins. But the proof, as they say, they all look good though. Even the flat one looks good. Let's taste them and see. Yeah, and I'm going to try not to favor my own bread. However, just on looks, I think it's the one I like. All right, let's slice Betty. Looks good. Let's slice the Pillsbury Doughboy. Yeah, remember I said that dough seemed a little loose, a little wet. Yeah, and look at that. It just didn't rise up like the other one. Let's slice Curtis George's here and see what we get. Yeah, that man knows how to make a banana bread. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's pretty. Put them all side by side right there in the center. Let's see what we get. They all look good like that. It's just that you can see the air pockets in mine where we had the baking soda and the baking powder to give it lift. Yeah, these look just a little dense. All right, let's taste. Here's Betty. It's good. Remember though, they didn't talk about adding banana to either one of these, except for the very little end there. That was Betty. Let's taste the Pillsbury Doughboy. Actually, it tastes better than it looks. Okay. Need some milk with this one though. A little drier than I like. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let, smells good. This is mine. Okay. Now, why did I do this? Because I want your cooking, whether you use quick and easy box recipes that you can jazz up with your own to it, like adding more banana. You can add some peach, you can add persimmons, whatever you want to these mixes makes it work. Or if you're gonna cook from scratch like we did in my recipe. They're all good, okay? And it's in no way am I saying one is better than the other. I mean, as far as methods go, I think my bread tastes better, to be totally honest. However, I love to see you cooking in the kitchen with your little ones or your old ones and just have fun. Peace, spread love. Let's spread something that's banana bread, like maybe peanut butter. Peace, I'm out. You want some, baby?
Yeah.
Okay.